When I was hired 17 years ago, the board president who hired me was Bob Humke, who was a member of Wellspring, and had been involved at that point probably for 20 years in the life of the center. So the connections are deep and long. When I think about, Wellspring in the last year, helping with the school supplies drive, with the holiday gift program, with the food pantry, those are all kind of very concrete ways to make life better for folks who are neighbors. If you think about if you were to measure our effort in terms of the amount of money and kind of staff time, the biggest thing we put our time and energy into is K through 12 after school and summer programs that focus on academics, health and fitness, community service and leadership, and arts and creativity. So the idea is we are really looking at kind of igniting a love of learning and creating opportunities for young people to get the kinds of experiences that folks, a lot of young people with resources, maybe they go horseback riding, or they have their robotics, summer camp, or they go rock climbing, or they have all, these different sorts of things that they might do, and that cost, right? And so, kids who come to our summer camp, kids who came to our summer camp this year took violin lessons from Andrew Sewell, which, that's pretty cool, right? They went out with hoofers, and went horseback riding, and they went rock climbing, and they went sailing. They have these kinds of experiences, this idea that everyone has these opportunities. Amazing volunteers coming in and doing science activities with young people. It's just a lot. And so again, as opposed to having this sort of this idea that we're working with kids who are somehow deficient, there's nothing wrong with our kids. Our kids are good. Our kids have gone through a lot. Our kids continue to go through a lot. And we're providing that place where people feel safe, where they have a long-term relationship with staff and with the center. One of the things that we always like to say for folks who are new to us is that we don't see ourselves as a social service organization. We see a community center as a vehicle to galvanize the community to take care of itself. So there's a lot of service that happens here, but that's not our primary focus. It's a result of our primary focus. Our primary focus is to engage people, to get people in relationship with each other, and to sort of see every person who walks through our doors as someone who has gifts to share, and every person who walks through our doors as someone who has needs to be met. So the kid who comes through our doors with 6 or 8 different labels attached to them about how they're at risk and all the bad things that they might possibly do, we see as a person who is a potential leader and has gifts to share with our community. And the person who is a retired CEO or a doctor or a prominent person who walks through our door because they want to get involved in the community, we recognize that that's a need to be met as well. And so kind of that leveling, I think, really helps to create a sense of community here. The church has the phrase of time, talent, and treasure, right? And I think that goes. I think there's in some ways, churches are a faith community, and that's what you create a community. And in the same way, I think a community center is a community, and so people come and share their gifts. I think that as members of Wellspring, think about what it is that you're looking for. That might be a place that you want to spend time. It might be a place that you want to volunteer. It might be a place that you want to give. It might be a place that you want to be involved in some specific way. But I think that's the question. When we have folks get involved here, one of the first things that Christina, our community engagement manager, does is she says, "Tell me about yourself. What are you interested in? What do you like to do?" As opposed to a person coming to us and saying, "What do you need?" and we list a bunch of things we need. We need all kinds of things. That's the beauty of a place like this. There's so many opportunities. So I hope that the first thing that I would say is, for someone who doesn't know us at all, get on our newsletter list and come to a community dinner. We have community dinners almost once a month, 10 times a year. Very low key, very accessible. probably one of the most diverse spaces that you'll be in Madison. And you know, it's anywhere between 75 and 150 people, about 2/3 of them kids. There are always activities, you can bring the whole family, and it's just a different place to be in community. Get a feel for the place. Come, you know, you don't have to know what you want to do before you walk through the doors. You can come stick a toe in and see what you think. You know, there was a woman who volunteers here. This is probably more of too long of a story for this, but I'll tell you anyway. She, you know, she was not particularly politically involved or aware of kind of racial issues until Race to Equity and Justified Anger kind of came and hit the news. And as she says now, she still thought in kind of colorblind terms. And she started to get very involved, and there's more kind of about how she did that. And she started to really learn. She created a group, invited a group of women, and they've been meeting every month, learning about different diversity issues, inviting in speakers. And she wanted, you know, she's like, well, I want to be in a relationship. I want to actually know people. That kind of thing doesn't happen through social service. It happens through relationship building.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really important. And the other thing I would just say is thank you. It means, you know, it means a lot to us to have a congregation like Wellspring that has, you know, has the community in mind, has our community center in mind, as a place to live out kind of your mission and your faith.